The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to the RM Hive. You are tuning into Reader's Magnet's featured author interview. I am your host, Brittany, and today I am delighted to have with us Miss Shem Deberry. So, Miss Shem, are you ready for the interview?
Oh, yes, I am.
So, yeah, we are here right now to talk about Mashan's book, which is The Life and Times of Alan Court, a powerful novel that takes readers on an unforgettable journey across continents, cultures, and of course, personal transformation. So, Shan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're happy to be here, Sean. So, before we get into your story, Sean, could you tell your audience a little bit more about yourself first?
Well, my name's Shem Deberry. My first book is The Life and Times of Alan Court. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Currently living in St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri.
This novel is a travel novel I based off of my own experiences when I went to school overseas uh,
Mm-hmm.
in Jyväskylä, Finland, and some of the countries that I traveled to. One of those countries was in Egypt, and I wrote about that experience. Uh, so that's kind of why it spans multiple countries, including Egypt and Finland.
All right, so Egypt and Finland. So let's begin the interview, shall we? So, Michonne, your novel spans multiple countries, including, as you've mentioned, Egypt and Finland. So, how did your research and personal experiences shape the way you portrayed these two settings?
Well, part of the settings came from just being a student exchange, being in a
Mm-hmm.
student exchange in Jyväskylä, spending time there in the late 1990s. Um,
1990s.
yeah, it's an old story. But I went to school in Jyväskylä, Finland, um,
Mm-hmm.
in 1998. So when I went there, it was like very different from coming from like the Midwest. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so being there, I met a lot of different people. I met a lot of other foreign exchange students, and it's part of the I would have to say culture shock of being in a different place,
That's
and
understandable.
yeah, just meeting
Yeah.
other people and vibing with them, and then starting to explore other places that were kind of linked around there. So just meeting people, was
Yes.
very eye opening, and I felt like, oh man, this is real interesting. Other people would be uh, interested in following this story. So I kind of created like maybe like a little bit of a romance
Mm-hmm.
aspect to like pull in different readers. So I had to create that. But a lot of it's based off of actual contact and actually meeting people.
So more on real experiences. All right, that's great.
Yes, it's similar to a memoir.
Yeah. So from the story, Michonne, Alan Court goes through significant personal growth throughout the story. Which event or relationship do you feel was most pivotal in shaping his journey?
Uh, well, they often say like what changes people most are like the books you read and the people you meet.
Yes.
And some of those people or characters I kind of like developed or like friendships through like meeting a character. His name's Daniel. Meeting
Daniel.
him on a chapter and like pivotal. Sometimes you like for the character Alan Court, when you meet
Hmm.
him on his first days, he may come across as very like stuck in his own ways. He's stuck in his own mindset, and then throughout the course of the story, you see him meet other people from different walks of life, and they
Yes.
kind of share his perspectives, their perspectives with him.
All
And
right.
I think it kind of gets to this point where I would say I'll kind of recap the story on like it's, chapter 12 called "Saying Goodbye," and um, it's the day that Alan is actually leaving uh, Finland and meeting and leaving a lot of his friends that he had met, and
All right.
he's kind of like taking in the first from the very
This isn't like a heavy spoiler of your book, right?
yeah,
Because all right.
it's a minor spoiler because
All right, all
it's
right, okay.
like a couple of days. It's like a day before he goes to Egypt. So
Mm-hmm.
like Egypt is almost like a second level of this story, but you kind of still see like the growth that happens between him meeting people from his first days, from the chapter one or chapter two,
Mm-hmm.
and saying goodbye later on with these
All
other
right.
people, and seeing the way that he kind of like his eyes kind of opened up to other people's perspectives of life, and even of how they saw him, and how it kind of like expanded.
So
So
basically, he was like living in a shell, right? And then he began to realize his horizon, his perspective of life expanded with his experiences. That right? Did I
oh
get that right?
yeah, I would say that for the most part, yeah,
All right.
that was it.
Yes.
It becomes expansive.
Mm-hmm. So, Michonne, identity, as you've mentioned, with what Alan went through, identity, self discovery, and cross cultural relationships are central themes in the book. So, what inspired you to explore these ideas, and what message do you hope readers can take away from your book?
Well, I couldn't help but expand, like, just being like a young American person going
Mm-hmm.
overseas, and being a person of color overseas and meeting different people, and how showing knowing how different things affected how people viewed me, and that might be from
All right.
television, that might be from music, the history that
Yes.
people had. So immediately, like when I met other people from different countries, I
Mm-hmm.
had to also, from my own research and things that I knew and things I didn't know, uh, I would that would affect like how we would talk to each other, how we would hang out, or
Yeah.
see each other. So those perspectives were always like, always had to kind of be open minded to some extent to like, okay, if I meet this person and they're from Germany, or I meet someone and they're from, Austria or Latvia, what did
Yeah.
I know about their history? Um, how did history affect how we saw each other? How did stereotypes
Yes.
affect how we interacted with each other? So a lot of times I kind of had to have like, pretty much, an open invitation for people, So,
Yes, that's true.
so when I talk to people, I was very curious as to who they were and what their lifestyle was like. And a lot of people were very curious as to, what's going on with me or other
Mm-hmm.
people in America. What's this perspective? Is it like this or that? And so a lot of times, uh, I became the person who was looked at as I was almost like the dignitary, almost like the
Yeah.
diplomat,
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
of 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 these different interactions and
Cultures.
people
Yes.
cultures. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like always fascinating to meet people and to see the things that they like, whether it was like food or their clothing, what type of
Yeah.
styles of clothing that people like, and uh, from being a fashion and kind of influenced person, You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people wanted to know like, oh, what's the best styles or what's the best music or, and those type of things. So that was uh that was very eye opening, I guess.
All right. So another question, Michonne, is your book weaves together elements of romance, contemporary fiction, and of course, travel. So, how did you balance these different genres while keeping the story cohesive?
Um, well, I've always had a good ability to tell a story, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's like short stories from even when I was like a kid and whatnot. So a lot of times you can, uh, with stories, you have to bring people along, right? You have to pull them along.
Yes, definitely.
So you can't give out too much at once, but you have to keep people
Yes.
curious and
Keep them
like,
hooked. Yeah.
yeah, it hooks people. If there's like an interesting character, like, oh, but there's parts of them that you have to kind of hold back until the
Yes.
right time. And when you tell them, if you can tell the story and bring people together at the right time, it makes
Yes.
it makes it flow. And when it
Yeah.
flows, they can forget that they and want to read the book in a day. And they will, when you get that type of feedback
Yeah.
where people are like, oh, I love this book and I got lost in it, and they read it within a short period of time, and or they read it again. Uh,
Yeah.
that's kind of the feedback. So I try to keep people very curious, you know, with the characters, and sometimes sprinkle in a little bit of little cultural type things, and sometimes show that through through the characters' actions, right? And oh, okay, this is what this person's style is shown through this type of action. So
Yeah.
I don't want to like give it away. I would prefer for people to read the book and then like,
Yes.
oh, I love this character, or why did this person do this? And I like that part of being a storyteller.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I love that you know how to keep them hooked. Because me personally, I'm a reader myself. Readers love a certain book when they just read it in one sitting. So yeah. All right. So Michonne, many readers can relate to navigating cultural differences and personal growth. What advice or insight would you share with someone going through similar experiences as Alan Court?
Well, Alan, um, he was very like he had to be more of an open person. He had
Yes.
to kind of know how to accept where he was at the time, but like make the most of it. I think that was like one of the key components that
Mm-hmm.
I created or I brought out of that character. Um, but also, I kind of wanted to show like that up curve, that swing, where he's kind of like very naive to travel and going places and meeting people, but he still was
Mm-hmm.
open enough in his own spirit to be able to kind of absorb whatever was happening around him and still proceed and kind of like never be defeated. This is something that one of my from reality, like
Mm-hmm.
I had a roommate
A
overseas.
roommate.
Yeah, I had a
Mm-hmm.
roommate like when I went for the student exchange.
All right.
So it just kind of reminded me of something where he was like, uh, he says, no matter what happens to you, it's like you cannot be defeated.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was so funny.
That's actually a compliment, you know.
Yeah, that was a compliment. Like, because it was just funny, like for me, just to instantly like remember that. But that was part of like
Uh-huh.
the ups and downs that are going to happen when you travel. Because you can come to a place where you're like, oh, I have everything prepared, and then you lose something. Something gets taken from you, and you have to still figure out how to navigate and get to what it is that you came for. And
Yeah.
that was the thing about the resilience, out of this character. I guess was part of my own my own inner
Your
self.
personal
Yeah,
journey.
my
Yeah.
own inner personal,
Hmm.
energy. But that's kind of displayed still within this character, um, because, uh, like I said, a lot of times when you're trying to go to someplace, I'll take like early part of this book.
Hmm.
Alan meets someone in the airport, and he
Hmm.
says most things are waiting. He's like, "What do you mean
Most things are
waiting?"
waiting. All right.
And he's like, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And then
Mm-hmm.
Alan's like, and the man expresses what he means by it, and then Alan
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, "Yeah, I understand that, but I'm like this. I want what I want now, right?"
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of like starts to understand in a whole nother level. But it took like 6 months or whatever down the road, where he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I get what he really meant now." But that was still his perspective. So, a lot of times, like, you think that, oh, I want to go to this place,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like the end run of it. But
Yeah.
really, the part of it's the in
There's
between.
more.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
everything that happens in
Yeah.
between from you getting from one destination to the
To
next
another.
is
Yeah.
the real gist of the story. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, while you're waiting to go from one place to the next, what's
Mm-hmm.
really happening now in the now is the truth of what it is. It's not just the end result of I'm going to be at this place at such and such time.
Yes.
It's everything in between that you have to go through that makes you able to, I guess, carry or carry whatever level of strength, power, whatever it is,
All right.
handle being going from one place to the next.
Yeah. Most of all, from what we've talked about so far, Michonne, what I love about this, about Alan Court, is that how much growth he went through.
Oh
Yeah, he growed so much. He learned a lot. He became a better person. That's what I love about this story.
yeah. Well,
He
thank
opened
you.
up to the world. Yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Michonne, is there a sequel to this book? Are you currently working on other projects right now? What are you up to recently?
Oh my God, you would know my story now.
Uh,
My story now
you don't
is
have to say all of it right now. Just a
no,
little bit for the
no.
viewers.
I mean, I have other projects that
Oh,
I would
right.
love to get out. This project itself is kind of like a return, right?
A
I had
return.
to I had to go through a lot just to even bring it out, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like okay, let me revisit this and work out whatever little issues that I was going through my own learning curve as being a
All right.
person who first had to live the project, write the project, produce the project, and when I've it's been such a long journey, I guess.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, like, well, navigating all of this has made me very formidable. Like, at least in my ability
I agree.
to get things done and to see like, okay, this is what I need to focus on, or this is what
Mm-hmm.
I need to help assistance in this level or help in this area. Uh, I've learned a lot just through that, through producing like this book and working with other people, and you know, and having that sort of thing uh,
That's
help.
the power of writing.
Oh, yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's
Yes.
like, well, you plant the seed, see the growth.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I,
happen
I
overnight.
I love it. So I see Alan Court and you are the same. You're both growing and becoming better, or the best you are on your way to becoming the best version of yourself,
Oh,
right?
wow, thank you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's the thing. That's why I hope that readers get out of it, and that
Mm-hmm.
you know, accepting, accepting that things are going to change,
Mm-hmm.
but that you also um, are very pivotal to making that change. And if you
Yeah.
and if you you have to like be inner guided to, hey, if you see something that you don't like or misunderstandings, let's go out and do what we need to do to make this thing better. This world is it's very much, a lot of things happening, but don't be disheartened that you have the opportunity to make things uh, go in a better route than what you see. Maybe you see if you see them going in a direction that they shouldn't. Um, so that's one of the key points that I have out of this book.
All right. So, Michonne, where can the viewers buy a copy of your book,
Well,
The Life
mm,
and Times
I
of Alan Court?
yeah, I have the website. It's www dot the life and times of Alan Court
Mm-hmm.
.com. Um, you can reach it there. I think Reader's Magnet also
Yeah, yeah.
is going
We
to have
have it.
it.
How about on Amazon and on Barnes and Noble?
Um, preferably Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. All right. Oh, all right. So
Yeah,
you heard it, everyone. The book is available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and on Reader's Magnet Bookstore. So,
not
Michonne, thank
much
you
now.
so much. Do you want to share something? Oh.
Well, yeah, I'm starting to lean more towards of
All right.
more independent sorts of ways to get things done. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've I've used other platforms, and those platforms, uh, you almost get lost in the monopoly of what's happening, and that's part of my hindrance for even wanting to produce other things. And so learning how to, right now they have so many different avenues, and things are progressing so fast with technology that,
Yeah.
the old ways of doing things uh, and getting lost in that sort of thing is not where I want to be. It's not where
Mm-hmm.
the
I
next
understand.
generation is going to want to be. Um, so there's different avenues, like it's just like there's different books to read, so that
Mm-hmm.
you can learn. It's different people to meet, so that you can learn and grow from. Uh, that's really going to be the new avenue for change and growth for everyday people. Um, so uh, I would prefer if people would go to, you know, me
Your
directly. If
website.
they can go to, you know, one of my websites,
All right.
the life and times of alancourt.com, or if they reached out, I've worked with the people at Reader's Magnet, and I
Yeah.
like them. So,
Right here. Yes.
and this book may be showcased at the Frankfurt. If
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
get it from a Reader's Magnet Frankfurt, I would
All right.
prefer that. Or they reach out to me, Shem Deberry.
All
Uh,
right.
I'm on Facebook still, and I'm on Instagram still, and I also yeah, that's good.
All right. So, Michonne, thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing your story, the life and times of Alan Court. So, thank you so once again. Thank you so much. The Life and Times of Alan Court is available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and on Reader's Magnet Bookstore, and of course, Michonne's website, as he has mentioned. Can you say it again, Michonne, one last time?
Yeah, the life and times of Alan Court.
All right, the life and times of alancourt.com. So, thank you so much once again, Michonne. This has been Brittany, and as we always say here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you, Michonne.
Thank you.